here so I won't get fined.
We talking about practice.
Come see me. I'm about that.
Welcome back to I Am Athlete Daily. I am your host, Brandon Tyrone Marshall, and I'm sitting here with our intern / social producer, Guy McCarthy, who I've known since he was probably 3 or 4 years old. Guy McCarthy, welcome to the desk, because Shelly's in the back. He has a lot of editing to do. We have the Vori episode that is out, so we want to get out more promo clips, and we also have so much content from the Super Bowl. Also, we've had Melvin Ingram in, Bojack, Michael Vick, Chosen Anderson, and so many others. So Shelly's in the back making sure that we get out this amazing content. And we are also joined by our resident producer and resident journalist. New journalist, right? Mm-hmm. Are you a journalist? Or when you get your degree, because you just graduated from Georgia State.
Georgia State, December 19th. Yeah.
So, like, when you graduate, that makes you a journalist?
Yeah.
Like, do they give you a badge or anything?
No, it's just like a piece of paper, like the degree in which I just got it the other day.
So right now, I'm not a journalist.
Okay.
I'm asking you.
No, like you are, because of the connects that you have, and like the way you're an athlete's journalist. You know what I mean? Like, you advocate for the athlete. You have the connects. You have the network.
So why did you go to school?
Because like I wasn't a Pro Bowler and wasn't in the NFL 13 years. Like, I had to build my connects from the ground up. With you, it came organically though.
So my question for you is, why do we have to go to school to be a journalist?
You don't. Because you have a lot of people out here that get on microphones and they just talk.
So are they bloggers or are they journalists?
They're bloggers.
Am I a blogger? I'm a podcaster.
Yeah, you're a podcaster with a lot of connects. Yeah.
All right, here we go. We're back. It's Monday, and this is the most boring time in sports because there's no more NFL, and the basketball season hasn't begun. Yes, I'm going to continue to say this. Basketball season starts here in roughly 60 to 70 days. That's when the NBA starts, when guys starts playing defense, when we start looking at the postseason, things starts turning up. Right now, if you care about sports and you really love sports talk, this is the most boring time. In today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about the All-Star. We got some football talk. And then we also got some Beyonce news. Beyonce's going on tour. We are sponsored by Vivid Seats. So make sure you download the Vivid Seats app and play Beyonce Trivia. Why is that important, Chris? Can you tell me why that's important for $100 to Beyonce?
Well, because we're sponsored by them, first off.
Yeah, we are sponsored by them. But it's important because Vivid pays the bills, parts of the bills, right? But they're also a cool partner. Why are they a cool partner? Because they allow us to do dope things, right? Like going to some of our favorite games and our favorite concerts. We're creating content. We're getting paid to do what we love. Yeah. Think about that. Like, I went to the Super Bowl. I'm sitting in a suite with the commissioner, Roger Goodell, and around me is so many cool people. The CEO of Nike, I'm sitting down talking to him, Elliot Hill. I'm sitting down with Ted S. Santos. Sandos, can we fact check this before this go out? Hold on.
Who is that?
Hold on, I'm just mad. Sandos. Is it Sandos or Santos? I want to stop here. This is, This is bad. Please don't clip this internet.
B, what was the
Hold on, I want his name first.
Ted sent. Let me see.
CEO of Netflix. All right. Anyways, let's start over, okay? So we have Beyonce Trivia.
Okay.
All right. And throughout the show, we're going to give away $100 in free prizes of Beyonce, right? Vivid Seats allows us to do some cool things. So what I was saying is, I'm at the Super Bowl and I'm in the suite with the commissioner. Every year I sit with the commissioner in his suite, and there's probably about 22 to 24 people in the suite. In the suite this year was the CEO of Nike, Elliot Hill. Also the CEO of Netflix, Mr. Ted. Okay?
Ted Sarandos.
Yeah, Sarandos, right? Sorry, I chopped up his name. I'm always chopping up somebody's name. But before the game started, I was able to go down and spend time with Justin, our Vivid Seats big game winner, right? We flew him in, we put him up, we gave him seats. He was sitting in section 102. So before the game, I go down, I create some dope content, and it's business, but it was also fun. Seeing he and Jess, his lady, sitting there enjoying the festivities was pretty cool. And we get paid to do this. I get paid to do this, right? So there's going to be concerts, there's going to be more games that we're able to lean into as a brand, but that's Vivid. I want to throw it to Brian because we're going to jump into the show. We have everybody introduce Hollywood, our resident journalist, and also producer. We have Guy McCarthy here. We have our team in the back. Kayla Nicole Brown is on the flight back. She was at NBA All-Star. She was covering NBA All-Star. So I can't wait to hear all the stuff that came out of the weekend there in San Francisco. Mike Sims Walker missed his plane. Inside information, breaking news. Brian, Mike Sims Walker missed his flight. 7:30 in the morning, we get a call. Hey, I can't make it, guys. It's some serious stuff. I mean, nothing terrible. Just some family stuff that he had to take care of. But he missed his flight, and Bezo got 20 kids, and he had to watch his kids. So let's jump into the show.
Yeah, I'll jump right in, B. And, we got Beyonce trivia coming up later in the show, so everybody stay tuned for that. You never know when we're going to ask that question, so stay tuned. Beyonce's awesome. You know what's not awesome, guys? The NBA All-Star Game. 4 teams in a tournament-style format last night. It was the young stars, the international stars, the rising stars, and the OGs. No LeBron. He said he was dealing with ankle and foot discomfort, so he ended up not playing. Big Mac also won the slam dunk contest for the 3rd year in a row. That's, the Saturday night activities. But let's start with the All-Star Game and the new format. So on a scale of 1 to 10, Draymond Green said, and I quote, 0, it sucks. So I was going to go to you, B, and say, is Draymond right? But I'm just going to start and tell you how I felt about the All-Star Game, and then you guys can let me know what you think. So, the thing that bothered me the most was I actually didn't mind the format. The 4 teams, tournament-style format, I don't mind. What bothered me is that they should have drafted, each team like, how they normally do it. Like, so you get go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you keep on going around, and then you have more balanced teams to compete in this tournament-style format at the All-Star Game. But instead, I'm seeing the OGs, which is, again, it's the Steph Currys, it's the Kyrie Irvings, it's the guys who've been in the league for a long time. And they're playing in the semifinal game against guys who, quite frankly, shouldn't be in the All-Star game. And, Draymond talked about this during the broadcast. He's like, there's this team that's basically the Olympic team, which is the OGs. And they're playing a team that is essentially the under-19 developmental team for the Olympics. So it's there's no competition there. And I was thinking to myself as I'm watching the game, imagine if the OGs lost that game and the criticism that they would have gotten after losing to, again, these are all 18, 19, 20-year-old kids with no experience in the NBA. And, they won and the OGs ended up winning the whole thing. But again, why am I watching some of the best players in the NBA playing guys who shouldn't be playing in the All-Star Game to begin with? So that bothered me right off the bat. But I do agree, but I do think the tournament-style format can work if you just make the teams even and just, make it more competitive for all 4 teams. So that's where I got off there. And the other thing that bothered me was LeBron not playing. He said he had ankle and foot discomfort before the game started. This was a couple hours before the game started. He could have easily given that spot to somebody else to fill in and play in the game. So, I think my bottom line here, B, is that, if we want to make this game what it needs to be, the players need to buy into this game and they need to care about the future of the sport. Because last night I thought was an insane embarrassment. And a lot of the players were saying the thing that bothered them the most was, we weren't able to get into a rhythm because there were all these breaks in between the games. And I sent you in Hollywood this tweet before the game. Before the show today. And this is the breakdown of how the whole 3 hours went last night. So the intro and the pregame talk was 40 minutes. Then game 1, which was only 12 minutes long. Then there was a Mr. Beast challenge for 5 to 10 minutes. That was cool. Game 2, that was Shaq versus the Red.
Mr. Beast was the halftime.
Yeah, Mr. Beast was there, B. So then game 2 happened, and then we have a music performance, another tribute, then the final, which was Chuck versus Shaq. then post game and some more commercials and all that kind of stuff. So there was actually only 42 minutes of actual basketball played in the 3 hours that were set aside for the All-Star game. So that's where I am. I thought it was a complete disaster. They need to go back to World versus USA. I think that's the best way to do it, and some of the players were saying that after the game. I'm off my high horse. I will let you jump in, Hollywood and B. Your thoughts?
That's a lot, B.
Yeah,
like B, you had a
lot. You
had a lot to get off your chest, right? You had a lot to get off your chest, but I sympathize with the NBA. I understand exactly what's happening, right? When you're scrambling, when you're trying to figure it out, you just throw a lot out there, right? You're trying to figure it out. Why do I say I sympathize with them? Because building my small little platform, our small little platform, I Am Athlete, you got to try things, right? Like this is working and then it stops working. Then you want to say, okay, let me do this. So hearing you, listening to you describe or walk us through everything that they did last night or they did over the last couple of days shows that they are confused and they're trying to figure it out. The NBA needs to pay attention to the NFL. The NFL is getting it right, and it's pretty interesting because the NBA is always leading the way when it comes to these things, whether it's being cool, whether it's even the social stuff, the cultural stuff. They always get it right. They have 89 million followers on Instagram alone. We're not talking TikTok. We're not talking their YouTube channel. We're not talking their other platforms. 89 million followers. The NFL has 31. Why am I saying that? Because the NFL figured out that the All-Star game, the Pro Bowl game, doesn't matter anymore. The NFL was going through the same thing. B, remember the NFL from a Pro Bowl standpoint? Nobody was hitting, nobody was playing, and they was like, this game is terrible. And what did they do? They embraced it, and they said, you know what, we're just going to chop it up and say it's just a flag football game. And we're just going to lean into celebrating our players and creating digital content. That's what it's all about. Yeah. The Pro Bowl game has turned into an opportunity for the NFL to create social assets that's going to grow into new audiences. So right now, the NBA is trying to figure out this long form play around their All-Star game, and it's broken. And so I understand where they're at. They're still trying to figure it out. And what they need to do is pay attention to the NFL, and they just need to chop it up. Yeah. That's what they need to do. It's done. The dunk contest is done. The NBA the NBA All-Star format that they're trying to save is done. It's done. It's done.
So can I ask you now, like, when did you realize in your career, how many times were you a Pro Bowler?
6 times.
6 times. Out of those 6 times, how many times did you realize, like, okay, cool, like, this is kind of getting played out? Or did it ever get played out during your NFL career?
Yeah, right away. Soon as I got there, Ray Lewis gave Jay Cutler and I and a couple of us, the youngins, this big speech before the game, right? This is like my first Pro Bowl, I believe it was. And he gave this speech, and Jay Cutler and I was like, yo, this is Ray Lewis. I see why the Baltimore Ravens are dogs and why the Baltimore Ravens is such a dominant organization, right? Like, we were in a Pro Bowl, and we were like, yo, we got to go out there and win this damn game for Ray Lewis, right? So he gives this big speech, and then we run out the tunnel. We're all fired up, and this dude had on sneakers. Like, he wasn't even playing, right? Ray Lewis just did that for us to get hyped and go out there and play so we can win the $40,000, right? Because the winning team makes more money than the losing team, right? So he did that, and then we're looking around, and we see all these other vets not really playing. And so that's when I realized that, it wasn't that serious, but it still meant something, right, for the younger players. We were still out there playing. We wanted to be out there. Why? Because you made the Pro Bowl. And it's the same thing for the NBA, Brian. These dudes, it feels good hearing your name selected as an All-Star, as a Pro Bowler, especially when your peers are involved, right? Now, obviously, part of it is fan votes, right? In the NBA, that's a big part of it, or almost all of it. But that means something. But the games mean nothing no more. Yeah. The games mean nothing no more. To your point, B, LeBron. This is a big thing. LeBron. People are pissed off at LeBron for not playing, right? I don't understand why. Why do you want to see LeBron barely play in this BS game anyways? But that's a big thing, right? LeBron didn't play.
Yeah, I think honestly,
too,
be like, go ahead, Olive.
Yeah, I mean, like, because even last night, and excuse me, I'm gonna push the conversation forward a little bit here, like even on the dunk contest part of it, because I disagree with you there.
Really?
Like, when you say in regards to the dunk contest, because Mac McClung, this is his 3rd year. Now, if we go back and we remember what he did even in the first year, Shaquille O'Neal, he told Mac McClung, make these people remember your name and don't miss a dunk. And that's what he did. And last night, he's now the first dunk contest winner who did a three-peat. He's the only three-peat player that's did in the athletic world this year. All 50s across the board. He jumped over a Kia. He did a double rim tap.
So you
dunk,
watched the game?
2 ball. I did watch the game. So that part of it was entertaining. But even after he won the dunk contest, Ja Morant made a tweet and was like, maybe I'll participate in it.
Yeah, right.
But now it's like I said earlier, we had this conversation
And
before.
then Giannis chimed in and said, if you do it, I'm in.
Correct. So, but is it right
So do
or
it.
wrong when you have these spotlight athletes
Right.
like not participate in the dunk contest?
So I was thinking about this, and we're fighting the wrong fight, and we're having the wrong conversation right now. You guys know I love to talk business, and I love to peel back the layers and go deep. It's about money now. Players are smarter, and I can't see Ja Morant going out there participate. Why am I going to participate in this dunk contest when I could potentially get hurt, or I need to rest for the games that matter, right? There's 82 games, which is a problem, and guys are saying this is cool and all, but I'd rather be healthy for this post All-Star break run that we need to go on, because this is when it starts heating up. Right, guys don't care about that no more. There's no honor in the All-Star game or in sports anymore. It's all about the business and the money.
But I mean, like, think about your Kobe's, like the mentalities that they had. Though,
I get it,
back
but that's
in the
gone.
day.
It's business now. That's what I'm saying. We're having the wrong conversation. This is the wrong argument. Even the NBA is trying to protect that feeling that we had when Kobe was involved, or going back to the Michael Jordan days or before that, right? Like, they're trying to protect that. Those days are gone. Yeah. That's why I mentioned the NFL. It's all about now, can we grow our audience? How do you do that? Well, shift from linear. Stop trying to say this long format approach of the game and the dunk contest. Just do some dope stuff over 3 or 4 days and create a lot of amazing content that all of us are going to talk about, right? There needs to be a huge shift there, because these players, LeBron showed it last night, that he's thinking about his body, he's thinking about his money, he's not thinking about entertaining you guys on NBA All-Star Weekend. Yeah. That's done. LeBron's never participated in a dunk contest. Never. Think about that. Yeah. All the greats in the past all did it. Yeah. It was almost like, something that we never talked about, but we all understood it. Like, okay, all the great NBA players are going to participate in the dunk contest. When LeBron stopped doing it, that's when we should have realized that the NBA All-Star Weekend is done in that way that we know it.
Yeah. Wow.
But
Brandon,
going back to that business side, right? Why don't the NBA add cash incentives to winning the All-Star game or winning the dunk contest? Like, why haven't they done that yet?
Well, it doesn't. They have in some challenges, but it doesn't matter. Think about it. They've also incentivized this play-in tournament where the champions get like 250,000. You know who that matters to? That matters to number 8, number 9, number 10 on the bench. But you think LeBron James or Ja Morant or Luka, 250,000 matters to them when they're bringing in $50 to $60 million, if not more, when you include the endorsements, right? They can't, the NBA can't pay them enough to participate in the All-Star game or the All-Star weekend in a way that's going to create more engagement. Yeah, B.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question, B, because I think this is a serious problem, quite frankly. Like, do you think there's a problem with current NBA players not caring about the future of the game? Like, so, for instance, KG talked about this a couple of weeks ago and said that, he's kind of mad at, the Joel Embiids and guys who, don't play as much as they should, and whether they're seriously injured or not. and said, like, me, Paul Pierce, Kobe, we worked our ass off so you guys could have these guaranteed contracts and have these huge deals moving forward. So do you think that current day athletes just in some small way, and it sounds sad to say, don't care about the future of the NBA more than they should? Like, because again, like, I think if Ja and Giannis did this dunk contest next year, I'm with Hollywood. I think you immediately bring attention back to All-Star Weekend. Even if the game sucks, if Ja Morant and Giannis are in the dunk contest, I think that's a game changer. But what I see from current day athletes is I don't think they care about the future and where the game is going more so than their predecessors. So what do you think?
I think the game is changing, and I think that players like KG and the truth, so the big ticket and the truth, need to adapt the same way we as fans need to adapt and evolve, right? The game is changing. Players are different. So what we're feeling is right, that shift. Players saying, you know what, I don't care about what Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Magic, what they cared about. What I care about is different. They care more about the money. They care more about their business. That's what they care about. And they still care about winning championships, but it's now about them and less about we. You understand? Meaning there was what was sold to us as players, rightfully so, and this is the state of all sports, is put the game first, put the team first, put the team first. And you would sacrifice. But owners aren't sacrificing. Owners, they're always looking at the bottom line. They're always looking at profit. So you want players, and I know I'm taking this conversation to a whole nother place, but I'm getting into the mindset of the player and the psyche of the players, and this is the why of it. So you want players to continue with that same frame of thinking when owners aren't evolving, right? So players are smarter now. Players are more selfish now. And for me, it does affect the game, but is it fair for the players to continue to sacrifice when the owners aren't doing that? And I know I took that conversation totally into a totally different direction, but I think that is the root of this whole thing, is the selfishness, and it's a good selfishness in a lot of areas for me.
Yeah. I want to go back to so earlier we were bringing up like players being incentivized, and you brought up the NBA Cup. So you said $250,000. So the winners, it's $514,971 per player.
How much?
$514,000
for the cup
for the winners. Yeah. For the runner-ups, it's $205,000. Semifinalists get $102,000, and quarterfinalists get $51,000 dollars, and that's per player. And as well, Mac McClung too, for the dunk contest. Over the years, these 3 years, has earned him a total of about $310,000 from those victories, which actually surpasses his NBA career earnings of $132,000. But that actually leads me to my next question. You talk about the business. Let's say you were a current athlete now in the NFL. Would the Pro Bowl be something you would necessarily care about? Like, would that be something that you would still continue to count as an accolade? Because in the NBA, it's like they say, oh, this person was a 8-time NBA All-Star. He had this and he had this, but
that's why LeBron didn't opt out, because he wanted that on his resume. He wanted that in his Wikipedia. That's what he wanted, right? Because if he opted out, then he wouldn't have been an All-Star. So he played the game. But go ahead.
No, like, that's my question. Like, would that be something that you would even still care about as an NFL player, getting that Pro Bowl accolade?
I was thinking about this yesterday, driving my kids to the pool. We went and spent the day in Boca at the pool, and my son asked about flag football. Actually, girls flag football. He's like, Daddy, why don't they do girls flag football like they do the NFL? He was talking about like what he was pretty much asking, why isn't it a league? Why don't we talk about it, right? And then I was like, damn, how do I explain this? And then I started explaining it to my son, right, about women's sports and the money and, how we pay the players, how leagues make money. And it was very simple. And I said, you know what? That's what I need to start leaning into when I'm on I Am Athlete talking about sports, okay? So your question is what?
if you were still a part of the NFL,
Okay.
would you care about the Pro Bowl?
So how I framed this yesterday, I said, you know what? Moving forward, I'm going to start describing this as if I'm talking to my son or it's for my kids, right? What I would say to my son in this situation, if he was in the NFL, I would say, son, don't play in the Pro Bowl. What are we doing? This Pro Bowl, I don't care if they pay you $1 million. If you go out there and you tear your ACL, now you're jeopardizing $100 million in career earnings, future earnings. Yeah. Think about it, right? Because all it takes is one play.
Yeah.
That's all it takes is one play, one game can totally change your career. Tom Brady never went to the Pro Bowl, even when he wasn't in the Super Bowl. There's a viral clip right now where Julian Edelman, I was like, well, where's Tom? Why Tom never go to the Pro Bowl? And Julian Edelman looks at me and he says, because we were in Super Bowls. But every year he wasn't in the Super Bowl. Yeah. But I say that because that's what I would say to my son, right? Like, you know, being in this position as a father that's already gone through it, if my kids or anybody that I'm fortunate enough to mentor or lead, you know, I would give them that advice. I would think about the business first, right? It's such a business. Love the game. Put the game first. But at the same time, we're going to make some really smart decisions. We're going to be strategic, and everything's going to be calculated.
Wow. Okay. All right, Brian, you got something else cooking up? Still on the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we can do now is just, you know, we can get into making basketball great again. I would love to talk about this for a couple minutes, guys. Like, what does the NBA need to do to not only fix the problem of the All-Star game, but again, viewership is down. I think the fans have a lack of trust with the players, quite frankly, now. I think it's like they think that they are going to do whatever they want, whether they're seriously hurt or not. Again, these guys, the best players in the NBA are getting, what, $60, $70 million at this point? Something like that a year. So like, what can be done, B? Like, what are some of your ideas that you think they can, the NBA can, you know, do to make the product better?
So my initial thoughts on making the NBA great again, starting with the All-Star game, is embracing that we're in a different space. The NFL has done this, right? We had the same challenges around the Pro Bowl. And what they did is they said, you know what? Players don't want to play. They don't want to get hurt. They don't want to risk it. Why are we going to try to force it? They tried everything. They tried drafts. They tried all-star coaches or celebrity coaches. They tried, you know, increasing the incentives and the pay. And you know what? They just got to a point. They said it's not working. There's nothing we can do. So let's just make it a flag football game. Let's just make it touch. And the reason why this was smart and genius is because it gave the NFL an opportunity to reach new audiences, because they created so much amazing social content that it was able to reach the Gen Z or the younger people out in America and also the world. So the NBA needs to continue to evolve. They need to pay attention to the NFL. It's a great place to start. Now, as far as the game, I've always been someone that's talked about how many games they play, and I just think about it from a player's perspective, not just because it's a trending thing and there's a few people leaning into, you know, the 82 games, but just think about that. Like, as a player, we spent so much time in the National Football League, right? Like when we had to travel to London or we had to travel to the West Coast, right? Like when we went to West Coast games, that was a whole thing. Like we had specialists come in, sleep specialists. We had nutritionists come in. We had so many experts come in to talk to us about how to travel, right? How to hydrate when you're going to the West Coast, when to sleep, and all these things. The NBA players are doing this 82 times throughout the year, throughout the season. We had to do that 16. Now, obviously, not every game you're on the road or you're away, but that's a lot of wear and tear on the body. So if you want a better product, you have to look at that. Now, the bigger problem here, Brian, it's not, you know, about the players and, you know, all these tedious things that we can look at and change. What it really is about, it's about the money. It's always money. If you want to make the game great again, then that means there's going to be less money in the player's pocket and also the owner's pocket. Why do I say that? Because if you cut back the 82 games, that means the TV deals shrink. They get smaller. And that is what pays the players. And that's the only thing that's going to make the product better, right? If we're not playing as many games, everybody, well, the old players used to do it. Look at how Michael Jordan never did this, or Larry Bird or Magic never did this. Look, you see some of these old players, guy, how they walking around? And you don't think Anthony Edwards and LeBrons of the world is looking around saying, man, there got to be a better way. It got to be a better way. Like they're looking at history and saying there has to be a better way. They're feeling this. Players are more educated now. We're more aware.
B,
technology and science has changed. Shorter careers.
Shorter careers now. Like because they're making all this money, right? B, like even like young rookies and stuff coming into the league, they're making all this money. You get to that second contract and you're really good. You're getting max contracts, right? So that's $50+ million a year. Do you see some of these guys playing 10 years until they're like 30, 31, somewhere in that age, and be like, man, I've made, close to $500 million in my NBA career. Maybe I'm good and don't need to play for the next like 5 or 6 years. Like, can you see them doing that?
No, because there's still the love. The love of the game never changes, right? That's more of an NFL challenge, right? Players playing shorter, players having shorter careers is an NFL problem, not an NBA problem, B. Right? Because players are making more money, but you get to a place where you're like, man, I'm tired of taking those type of hits. Like, it really crushes you. You never see an NFL player retire and still play pickup football or out there playing 7-on-7. But Reggie Miller still hoops. Ray Allen still gets up buckets, right? So I'm saying that because the love of the game is still there. In the NFL, you just can't – there's nothing to retire into, right? There's no pickup football, right? In basketball, you still can spot up and shoot. You still can do some cool things. So I don't see players in the NBA, Brian, having shorter careers. Why? Because there's still an addiction to the money, and there's still an addiction to the fame, and there's an addiction to the game.
Well, I was about to say, B, is it more of an addiction to the game, or is it more addiction to more money? Because I think that's where it comes back to. Like, I think fans do not trust the players in the NBA right now because they're making so much money and they're not playing. They're sitting out there doing whatever they want. Like, and again, I don't know Joel Embiid's health in history, like to that extent. Like, I don't know how hurt he really is. But if LeBron comes to the press conference yesterday and says, like, I'm dealing with ankle and foot discomfort, like, that's going to bother me as a fan. Like, because again, like, people want to see LeBron. We talk about it all the time. LeBron and Steph are driving ratings for this entire league. And when they leave, they're in big trouble. So, like, LeBron just casually saying, hey, I'm not going to play in my 20th All-Star game, I think it impacts fans. It makes them say, like, okay, well, here we go again. So what do you think?
Yeah. Well, again, that's an all-star challenge, right? And LeBron, think about it. He's what, 40? He's 40 years old?
Yeah.
What is he doing playing in an all-star game? The only reason why he accepted this thing is to get that on his resume.
People want to see him in the game. But people want to see him in the game.
20th year.
Right? People want to see LeBron.
But again,
right?
but the all-star game, but the all-star game is over. It's done. So we can't stop trying to fix. We have to stop trying to fix the All-Star game and just adapt. Like, the All-Star game is cooked. Nobody should want to go to an All-Star game to see LeBron. Now, I do agree with you guys from what y'all said earlier. The dunk contest is what made the All-Star weekend. That's what we wanted to see. Now, I still think there's some opportunity there for them to save the dunk contest. But as far as the All-Star game, players don't care about the All-Star game, and you can't fix that. You might as well just do exactly what I said and create a format that just get a bunch of social content and not confusing the audience with Mr. Beast this and Shaq that. Like, there was just too much going on. Like, but I get it. They're trying to figure it out, like I said earlier. As far as the game, though, of course, this new collective bargaining agreement is about to be up, right? So there's going to be a huge fight between the NBA and the players regarding this matter, right? Like,
Could you go deeper there though? Like,
yeah, you hear go, yeah. So there's a lot of NBA experts and players talking about this. That even the Jimmy Butler thing. He said, "Oh my goodness, Jimmy Butler's messing it up for all the players moving forward. There's no way they're going to allow this to continue." Meaning the owners. So it's the same thing that happened with the NFL, right? You get into these negotiations and you have to give up some concessions, right? You have to negotiate these things. The same questions that you have, Brian, where you're talking about the fans, right? And players, making all this money but not playing. Those concerns are on the desk of the owners, and they're talking about that right now. How do we fix this? How do we negotiate our way into a better deal or into a better product? So I don't know what that looks like. I don't spend a lot of time on it, but that's definitely going to be a huge fight. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a lockout. I wouldn't be surprised. Let me make sure I'm saying that right, because there's when you have these battles with union and owners, there's a lockout and there's a what? Lockout is when the owners. So the lockout is when the owners.
gotcha.
Lockout is when the owners say, you know what, we're not going back to work. A strike. So strike and lockout. So a strike is from the player side, and the lockout is from the owner side.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lockout. Did I say that clearly? I know I'm
Correct, yeah. So
did y'all understand what I
Yeah.
just said?
So an NBA
Yeah, we got
lockout
you.
is
We
a
got
work
you.
stoppage imposed by team owners when the CBA collective
Yes.
bargaining agreement between the NBA and the National Players Association expires without a new agreement in place.
So lockout, strikeout. Everything that we're talking about with the NBA trying to fix the All-Star game, trying to fix, the huge decline in ratings and engagement around the NBA, there will be a lockout. Right? Players love it. This is great for business for the players, and even engagement around the players. Players are making a lot of money. Their brands are through the roof, right? They're building companies. So players, they wouldn't want this. They wouldn't want to change this. But on the owner side, they're getting crushed.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a huge fight and a huge battle. Do we know when the NBA collective bargaining agreement expires? This recent one? Can we look that up?
Let's see.
I'm not
It
gonna
is
lie to
set
you,
to
B.
expire.
Go
We're
ahead.
gonna have to shut it down for like a couple of seconds to celebrate our $5 donation to
Woo!
Who Live Crew. And she says, do you think some of this falls on having a solid agency behind the athletes? It seems membership isn't something being done a lot of these days.
Membership?
Mentorship. My fault.
Mentorship. Okay, mentorship. All right. So this is who's this? What's her name?
Who Live Crew.
Who Live Crew. What's your real name, Who Live Crew? First off, thank you for the $5 donation. That goes a long way for us. We really appreciate that. May I ask your name, Who Live Crew? Or do I have to say Who Live Crew?
Who Live Crew for now.
Yeah. So Who Live Crew, I would like to address you by your name, your real name. So Who Live Crew, while we're waiting on your name, I'll say this. Business, see, we look at it from a fan's perspective. Sports. Like, this is what we just do this is love.
Her name's Tiffany, by the way.
Okay, Tiffany. Thank you, Tiffany. Nice name. Tiffany, what we have to do when we're talking about these things at the pro level, we have to take the fandom out of it, right? Because when we hear sports, we hear love. We hear, this is my team. We're talking about honor. We're talking about loyalty. That's what was sold to the players years ago. And players are smarter now. They're more savvier. Sport is business. So when we talk about, the NBA and the state of the NBA right now, as a player, You say we're winning. Yeah. We're winning the deal right now. Brian highlighted it. We're making a lot of money and we're paying less. Who out there, if we're being honest, wouldn't want to make more money and work less?
That's real. That's real.
So now the ball is in the owner's court to solve this problem. How do we now swing it back our way or make it more equal? Yeah. And that's why I said there's probably going to be a holdout, right? There might be a work stoppage. Yeah. There's going to be some type of work stoppage to fix this because this is a huge problem. This was just a few years ago where the NBA ratings was through the roof. We're talking about through the roof. And now all of a sudden there's this huge collapse. And so this is a huge problem and they have to figure it out ASAP. Yeah. ASAP. So Tiffany, I appreciate your donation, but I don't think this is a player's problem. I think this is an owner's problem. The owners need to fix this. And Brian, you mentioned something important, right? And I don't have the answer to this, right? Like you talked about players, not having this this urge to leave the game better. That was one of the things I always heard when I got into the league by Peyton Manning. My responsibility, I want to make the game better. I want to leave it better. Like, guys think about that. Like, they talk about that. How can I give back to the game? They love the game that much. Yeah. And on the football side, I see that. And on the NFL side, on the NBA side, it's coming from more retired guys. Yeah. Right? You do have guys like LeBron, but I think like LeBron may not even be in this category anymore because he just launched his own league that's going to compete and rival the NBA.
Well,
so now you got guys
LeBron
like Chris Paul.
Has nothing, allegedly,
thank you. But it's his team. Just the same thing with Clutch. He's an active player, cannot, have an agency. Right. But his team has one. Okay. Come on, man. Let's stop this. And
I want to answer your question,
Let's
too.
stop this.
So the NBA collective bargaining agreement is set to expire on June 30th of 2030. So
dang, they got a long time.
Two things to note.
They might lock out this year.
Both the NBA
breaking
and the
breaking news. Chris, wake up. Steph, wake up. Reese Jackson, wake up. Guy McCarthy, wake up. I have breaking news for everyone. There will be an NBA work stoppage this offseason. That's the only way to fix it. Yeah. They have to fix it right now. And that's going to come from the owner's side. No, Reese, you're laughing. This is serious business. We're talking about what? How much in revenue? How much is the NBA making in revenue? Is it $5 billion? I know the NFL is at $14 billion. What is it? How much money is on the line here? The product
Billions,
is not
that's for sure,
good.
$11.34
$11 billion. $11 billion is on the line here. The owners are right now gathering. They probably had a meeting in San Francisco. Record-breaking this year. Record-breaking because of what? The deals. Amazon's coming in. Yeah. Bigger players are coming in. Yeah. And you know what happens when the media, when the networks come in? All they care about is product. Think about it. ESPN, Amazon, TNT. Now TNT they're going to license out their show, and they're now out of basketball. They lost that negotiation, right? Okay. Which is being litigated now. But if you're a network, what you care about is this product pushing traffic to my platform. So if Embiid isn't playing, LeBron's opting out of all-star games, et cetera, then how are we getting traffic to our platform? Yeah. So this record-breaking year that we're having, it's probably going to go in the other way. Now the owners are losing leverage. You got the Amazons of the world and you got the ESPNs of the world and whoever else wants to get into basketball are going to say, like, your players aren't playing. Mm-hmm. Why am I paying a premium for this product? And what I do know is, right, like, at the end of the day, these owners, the commissioners, they want to do good business because they think about the longevity of the sport. Do they want to win? Absolutely. Are they sharks and cutthroat? Absolutely. But their partners are these networks. And they got to make these networks happy if they want to continue to put out this type of money. And then also the valuation of not only the valuation of these teams are through the roof. Talking about big money here. They want that to continue to be on a rise. They have to fix that. Yeah. So breaking news here on I Am Athlete Daily. There will be a work stoppage in the NBA this offseason because the collective bargaining agreement is up in 2030. I don't see the owners in the NBA waiting that long to fix this problem that we're seeing in the NBA. It can't happen. It cannot happen. Fans don't trust the players, as Brian, our producer, said. The casual fans, right, aren't watching the NBA anymore. It's not even interesting. Most of us didn't even know this new format in the All-Star game. They didn't even do a great job of promoting the changes.
You're right. No,
fact. Absolute fact.
That's something I didn't know about.
So here I Am Athlete. We're going to make the NBA great again. This is going to be the platform that give you all the news around the NBA to make it great again. Download Vivid Seats app. Oh, look at me. Yes, I love it. Look at this. Our production team for the win. Let's go. Yes.
Happy New Year.
That was his iPad or something, but we're going to say it was our team. Live View. Great job, Live View, and all the capabilities. If you are someone that's a streamer, you want to go live on YouTube, make sure you hit up our people over at Live View. They take care of all of our business, and that is an ad.
Listen, so that was breaking news on I Am Athlete. This is I Am Athlete presented to you by Vivid Seats. So we'll be right back after this quick message.
Download it. Make America. No. Sorry.
Roll 1,000 times your money with the Vivid Picks app. It's a daily fantasy sports app that you can make simple predictions on how your favorite players would do for their games. And they make it easy. Will Patrick Mahomes pass for more or less than 230 yards? Can Saquon Barkley rush for more or less than 175 yards?
But he won't.
You make the call.
The more you predict correctly, the more you win. And by playing with friends and adding power-ups to your lineup, you can turn $5 into
$5,000.
Use invite code
ATHLETE
when you sign up to unlock an exclusive $300 match on your first deposit today and get in your bag.
You game on.
Game on. All right, there you go.
So we'll be shooting another ad for Vivid, right? Because football season's over. We were highlighting Saquon in the NFL, right, to get you guys to participate in the trivia in the Game Center on the app.
Correct.
Right? Correct. So now we'll shoot another one because NBA season is finally here, kinda, right? Still got 60, 70 more days. All right. So we'll handle that.
Could we like, so right now we can start right now. So quick picks. Who should be quick picks presented to you by Vivid Seats? Who should be the face of the NBA right now? Who does the NBA? Who do you choose? To
are you saying this because of the viral clip of that's going around now with Anthony Edwards? He was asked that question. Did you see that?
Oh yes, I did.
Is that why you're asking me?
Yes.
Can you tell the people? Because some people may have not seen it.
Yeah, so Anthony Edwards, he did an interview with Complex, I believe, and he came out, responded basically how, like, it's him, like, basically, like, it's him, and it's not something that he really too much cares about. And so that's why I'm really trying to push this question to Brandon now, because we need to film this commercial for Vivid Seats.
Yep. So I think it's Anthony Edwards, but it's something interesting there. I was actually coming in this morning and I saw that clip for the first time, and it made me wonder, like, damn, what's going on? Does he feel, maybe Anthony Edwards feels like the NBA, they're not prioritizing him. They're pushing Wemby maybe more than they're pushing him. So when you hear a player say something like that, there's something internally happening, right? You feel this. Like, I felt it, right, when I was in the league, when I got in trouble when I first got in the league, and they didn't put me in no commercial, but I was one of the top players. But I understood why. And it took maybe until like 7 years in, they put me in the first commercial. You know what I'm saying? So you feel it like, damn, like, all right, the league ain't rocking with me. They're pushing this guy forward. Like, you understand it. That this is a real thing. To me, the face of the NBA is Anthony Edwards. A couple years ago, and over the last couple years, it's changed, right? If you asked me this 3 years ago, I would have said Luka would have been the face. Then you had Ja Morant burst onto the scene. Right. I don't have to say pause, right? We good there?
No, you're good.
You had Ja Morant burst onto the scene, and then he gets hurt, and he got in trouble. He messed that up, right? And now you do have Wemby. I think it comes down to Wemby. I think it comes down to Anthony Edwards. And then also pay attention to Luka as well. Yeah. So that's who I have there. And then also Christy O. I want to go back to Christy O. Thank you, Christy O, for always rocking with us here at I Am Athlete on YouTube. Chrissy O says, well, correction, B. Fans definitely still watch the NBA. I am one of them, but they do need to do a better job in some areas. Well, Chrissy O, what I was saying is I said the casual fan. You, my friend, you're not a casual fan. You are a super fan, right? You're not only a super fan of sports, you love your Patriots. You thought I forgot about you. I know you, Christy O. Christy O's been walking us for 2 or 3 years. Know a lot about Christy O. Christy O, Patriots fan. Don't talk about her Patriots. And also Boston Celtics fan, right? Okay. So huge fan there. But when you talk about the NBA, Christy O, you're not going to get – let me ask this question right now. Raise your hand if you watched the All-Star game last night. Raise your hand. So we got Hollywood 1. Steph, did you watch the All-Star game last night? No. You watched? No. You? Guy? No. You? Reese, did you watch it? Andrew? Andrew watched it. Reese didn't. So we have 2 people in here that watched the All-Star game. So I just wanted to reply to Christy O there. You know, we'll see what happens, Christy O, during this work stoppage this offseason.
Okay.
We got to shut it down again. Okay. We got another $5 from Tiffany.
Another 5. That's 10?
That's 10. And she has this question. She says, how can we foster a healthy business without diminishing the love for the game? If money isn't the driving issue, what is?
Ask me another question. Ask it again. Excuse me. Say it again. Ask the question again.
How can we foster a healthy business without diminishing the love of the game? If money isn't the driving issue, what is?
One more time. One more time.
Okay, so the bigger question. I get it.
Tiffany, it was like go ahead.
The bigger question, Tiffany, is when you say donation, right? You donated about $10, right? So was that to B or was that to like all of us? Because if we do the math, right? If we do the math, there's about 10 of us here, and we all get $1 each. I think that works out well for everybody right there. Everybody gets $1. We appreciate you, Tiffany. We appreciate you.
So I don't know why I'm confused. My brain is moving a little slow this morning. It's Monday, I guess, and there's no football. But the question again, one more time.
How can we foster a healthy business without diminishing the love for the game? Question mark. If money.
Let me answer that one first.
All right.
There we go. That was the problem. Let me answer that one first.
We'll break it down.
I don't think you have to have love for the game to dominate the game or have a great game. Right? Like I am someone like I'll go back to my kids. I want my kids that have, be really passionate about the sport that they play, to have that love of the game, right? Because it just takes you to a whole nother level. And I was one that had so much love and passion for the game and still do to this day. But I also was in a locker room with guys that was just there for the check. And still dominated, still were Pro Bowls. I couldn't understand when I was in the league, a young cat maybe in his 3rd or 4th year be like, yeah, I'm only doing 1 contract. Like, what? What do you mean? You're not going to play until the wheels fall off? Like, how can you even think about the end right now at the beginning? So I don't think, Tiffany, that you need to have a love for the game, for the product to thrive, for the business to thrive. I think it just needs to make sense, right? Like players have to they have to have a real conversation internally, right, inside the association on how can we make it better? What are we doing? Because at the end of the day, you know, a lot of these guys, right, like Anthony Edwards, how many more years does he have? How many more years does Ja Morant have, right? Even Shea, like how many more years does Shea have, right? So what you do today is going to affect your bag tomorrow. So they have to figure this out. It's not all on the owners, right? But the owners are the ones that are going to have to initiate the conversation. So I appreciate you, Tiffany. You know, that does go a long way for us being independent, you know, on YouTube. I think we've made what off of donations over the last month, probably 50 bucks.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There we go.
$5.
$5
each. You feel me?
Yeah, you feel me?
Oh my goodness.
Where does the money go? I don't even know where the money goes. Andrew, where does this money go?
I think Andrew
Like it just like you donate the money, it goes into YouTube.
Andrew's taking it all.
It goes into our account. We have a YouTube account or something? He said, yeah, okay. All right. Making sure we're getting it in YouTube isn't keeping our money.
Brian, I actually want to tee you up here. We got some Beyonce trivia that we're going to be doing here by Vivid Seats, presented to you by Vivid Seats. Brian, this is special. Actually, I didn't even know this one, but what you got?
Yeah, so we got some trivia, guys. I'm going to ask you all one question about Beyonce. First person to give the right answer on the YouTube chat, guys there to monitor, so he's going to find the winner. And the winner will get a $100 gift card courtesy of Vivid Seats. So everybody ready? Here is the question for today. Many don't know that Beyonce was in a girl group before Destiny's Child. What was the name of that girl group?
Oh,
Guys,
wow.
let me know.
I didn't know that.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't even.
$400. What they got? 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8.
No, it's whoever
7,
answers first, B. Whoever
6,
answers first. Whoever
5,
answers
4. Oh, but they can Google. That's why I do that. I don't think you think Google is fair.
first. Well, I mean, they can
All
Google
right,
in less than
whoever
10
answers
seconds too and
first.
get the answer. Come on.
All right. I'm being too harsh.
Guy, what do we
There's
got?
a delay.
Nobody
so.
had. Yeah.
Anybody?
Nobody got it.
Was my question too
said
hard?
Girls time.
Christy said what?
Oh,
Girls time.
Christy.
Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah, Christy. Congratulations. So,
$100.
Christy, can we do this? I don't think Beyonce's going to Boston.
Let's see.
But she can take this $100 and she can go to a Celtics game. She can save it for
Correct.
a
She can
Patriots
use it
game,
for
right?
anything.
She doesn't have to go to Beyonce, right?
Absolutely.
She can do it for okay,
Whatever
great.
she wants, B.
'Cause
Yeah, whatever she wants.
Oh, y'all threw it. Oh, look at this. Girls time. Where's Beyonce at? Is that her in the middle? Oh, it's
Bottom right. Bottom right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
There you go.
$10,000 in 20 seconds, can anybody in the chat name all these ladies, these young girls, and where are they at today? In 20 seconds for 20. And I was like,
I was typing it.
oh, you're typing it up to see what it says. But Christy, congratulations. Our team will be in touch. That is our trivia for today. Beyonce for $100, and you can take this and apply it to any game, any concert, not just Beyonce. Kendrick Lamar is on tour, 22 cities, I believe 2 in Toronto. How mean is that?
You know, I was looking at something last night. I was looking at something last night. The Brat. It was like from 2024 though. The Brat reported on the Ricky Smiley morning show that Drake had allegedly bought all the tickets to like the front row seats, like to Kendrick Lamar, one of Kendrick Lamar's shows out in Toronto. But right after that happened, Kendrick Lamar put out a link for a free show. So basically to still get people to come and sit like at his concert too. But that was a
Down
little
again.
Oh my goodness, we getting paid.
Donation.
We got another donation.
Chance Barnett, $4.99. He ain't want to give us $5. He gave us $4.99. But we gonna take it. We gonna take it. Brandon, do you think guaranteed contracts will be a thing of the past?
Oh, so that's how this worked.
Will we see another Deshaun Watson?
They donate and they donate to get their question asked. Is that what happens?
That's what's going on right now.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Okay, so that's a thing. Okay. All right, what's the question? Thank you for your $4.99, bro. That's going to go a long way. And I will happily answer your question.
It's going to mess up the math a little bit because $4.99, 10. But anyways, Brandon, do you think guaranteed contracts will be a thing of the past? Will we see another Deshaun Watson type of deal?
Yeah, there's always a desperate team. Right, the Cleveland Browns were a desperate team, right? So it's all about leverage. Patrick Mahomes, if he wanted to have a guaranteed contract, can get a guaranteed contract. Josh Allen, if he wanted a guaranteed contract, can probably get a guaranteed contract, right? So we'll see it if the players want it. It's all about leverage. It won't be a thing, though. It won't be one of those things that's a part of our agreement with the owners. The owners would never let that happen, but on an individual basis, absolutely, we'll see it again. We'll see it again. I saw that, some NFL insider said that they should package Myles Garrett and Deshaun Watson together in a trade. Myles Garrett, during Super Bowl week, said he wanted to get traded right before, right? So we'll see what happens in Cleveland with Myles Garrett and Deshaun.
Love it. Well, that is the show.
That's the show?
That's the show. I Am Athlete Daily, presented to you by Vivid Seats. We will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. See y'all soon.
I'm here so I won't get fined.
We talking about practice.
Come see me. I'm about that.